What is good, YouTube, and welcome back to a brand new video. As we know, the NBA regular season is in full effect, and there is a specific team that I just did a rebuild on recently, but we got to redo it because they have been a ton of fun. And of course, I'm talking about the Washington Wizards. Their young rooks are really showing out for this team, and it really looks like the Wizards have a very bright future. The reason why this will be a different rebuild compared to the last one we did, we're gonna make sure that Bilal Coulibaly, if I'm saying that name correctly, ends up becoming the comparison he is drawing right now in this Wizards rebuild. Let's jump straight into it. Before we get into today's video, make sure you guys drop a like on this one and subscribe if you're new to this channel. As always, greatly appreciated. DC sports are so up, it's not even funny. While I'm not a Wizards fan or anything, I'm very happy for them, of course. Most of you may know I am a Commanders fan, and it's been a ton of fun watching the season. And if you're a Wizards fan alongside of that, obviously you're probably super happy with the future of this team as well. And the reason why this is different, because I know there's not been a roster update in 2K yet, but I made sure to update Bilal. He was a 77 overall. I'm pushing him up to an 81. He's been incredible to start the season so far. He's drawing Kawhi Leonard comparison, which is wild. I've also pushed his potential through the roof. I want him to become an absolute stud in this video, which is why. And then I also messed with Bub Carrington and Kaishan George as well. Both of them have been really good for the Wizards alongside them as well. So a lot to be excited about. Let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for this season. So Jordan Poole, Corey Kispert, Bilal, Kyle Kuzma, of course, missed yesterday, which inserted Kaishan George. You have Alex Sarr, of course, as well. But we do have to fix this rotation just a tad bit. Sneak Bay, obviously, I don't think has played this season yet, and I'm not sure if I can't remember if he had, I think it's some kind of long-term injury. I can't remember exactly what it was. But of course, we got to move Kyle Kuzma to small forward, and we got to move Alex Sarr to the power forward because, you know, we got to play Alex Sarr. So I'm gonna fix this rotation how I see fit. We got to get Bub Carrington in there as well. I'm only gonna run a 10-man rotation, so Alex Sarr, like I mentioned, is going to start at that center or power forward spot, and then we'll probably be at the deadline and make some moves. And we got to get Kaishan George minutes here as well. So we got 30 minutes still to spread across a bunch of guys. So Jordan Poole, Bilal, and Kuzma, that looks good. Sarr, we could low-key even start Sarr at the 5. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. So let's do that. And then Joe Val can like hit the bench or something, and we could low-key just throw Kaishan George in there right away. Now I will get Joe Val some minutes, don't get me wrong, but yeah, you could do something along the lines of this if you wanted to, which I'm totally cool with. Malcolm Brogdon hasn't played for the Wizards this season yet either, but you guys can kind of see the point. I'm gonna fix the rotation how I see fit, and then more than likely I will see you guys at the deadline. That way we move some of the vets out of here to continue to let these young guys blossom as much as possible. So I'll see you at the deadline when we get there, and I'm going to fix this rotation exactly how I want it, but it's going to be something along the lines of this. And we got Alex Sarr, of course, his minutes as well. And then one other thing we need to do before we just start simulating the season is we got to make sure below shot tendency is super high. So what is it? So Kuzma's is a 90, Bilal's is only a 45. So we're going to push this up quite a tad bit. Like I said, I want this guy to become the guy here. We're going to push that up, and that looks good to me. Alex Sarr's is a 75, so we can leave that the way it is. We could even reduce Kuzma's shots in this if we wanted to just a little bit. That way Bilal is taking more of the shots. All right, that looks good. All right, I'll see you guys at the deadline more than likely, like I said, to trade some of the vets out of here. Today's video is brought to you by two softwares designed to help you beat the sports books and become a much profitable sports bettor. We're starting on Daily Grind Fantasy's Optimizer. So if you play an app such as PrizePicks, Underdog, or any of these popular DFS apps, having a tool like this is insanely clutch to have to finding good plays right in front of you without having to do any research whatsoever. So we're over here on the PrizePicks board right now. There's not a ton of value. Of course, there's no NBA games tonight because of the election. But you do have some value, nothing too crazy. I'm going to go over to like Dabble, for example, who has some value sometimes. Nope. Yeah, the board is pretty dry. But I guess if you want to look at this one-to-one comparison on Najee Harris to parlay play, this is not something I would personally play. But you do have a difference. You could middle these if you found something to pair with, obviously, both of them. But obviously, PrizePicks at 66.5, while parlay play is at 61.5. So player value there, whichever one you want to take. You could take the over on parlay play, take the under on PrizePicks. Maybe you can get both. Maybe he finishes with like 64 rushing yards. And then I also love OddsJam's positive EV tool as well. We got Bowling Green over 15.5 team total. If we look at this has already been bumped actually. So it went from plus 100 to minus 110. So as you can, or sorry, to minus 120. So as you can see, OddsJam, Daily Grind Fantasy, they're finding your profitable plays, which is why these plays don't last long. So make sure to check out both these softwares if you take betting seriously. Links are down in the description below. Use code Crushables for a percentage off your first month. Other than that, let's get back to the rebuild. And of course, as promised, we also have the trade deadline to go ahead and trade one of the vets away, and that is going to be Kyle Kuzma. We're just going to simply get a first round pick for him. We do get Rozier as well, which he'll play here for a year or two, and then we can move on from him. So this is what we'll do. We'll get a 2029 unprotected first from the Miami Heat and start there. I do also want to trade Malcolm Brogdon away as well. He is an expiring contract, and I don't think Brogdon would go for a whole lot right now. His medicals, and he just can't stay healthy. Like, he's just a guy that's just been struggling with injuries lately like crazy. But, a second round pick would be something I'm okay with. We got a trade exception from Malik Monk. We're getting some interesting offers. Orlando with Cameron Johnson. Got to make it make somewhat sense. Harrison Barnes in a first is pretty interesting, but I don't think, like I said, I just don't see Brogdon going for that. So Jalen Smith in a second from Chicago is interesting. I guess if Chicago is making some kind of run. But yeah, I don't mind this. We're going to bring in another 5-man in here. Jalen Smith gives us a 3-year backup center who, shoots from 3 a little bit. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll go ahead and do this. So Chicago is going to get Malcolm Brogdon for whatever reason. I don't know why they do that, but they are. They only trade a second, so whatever. Chicago's a confusing franchise, so it's not out of the realm of possibility they would do something like that. Is there anybody else here that I want to trade while we're at this deadline? I don't think so. I think I'm cool with this. I think we could trade Joval as well, I guess, too. Maybe we can look for something for him. I don't really know what his interest would be or what his value would be. Maybe you could get it protected first for Jonas Valanciunas, but I'm not 100% confident in that. Maybe a couple seconds, maybe 3 seconds. But for whatever reason, I'm about to say, for whatever reason, this trade is loading forever. So what do we got? Do we got anything that makes somewhat sense to me for Jonas Valanciunas? KCP in a first, Gafford. I probably might just keep him around because, Indiana is interesting because they're not playing Jarris Walker too much, but I don't think they'd trade him for Jonas Valanciunas, obviously. Durin in a second, obviously, is fun. Olynyk, yeah. Toronto could get Valanciunas back for a first. I don't know why they would do that, though. So, yeah, more than likely, we're probably just going to have to stick with what we got for now, which is fine. We got rid of Kuzma and Brogdon, which is kind of what we wanted to do. The Below is still starting, and then we got to make sure, basically, yeah, we could definitely start Alex Sar at the power forward, Joe Val, if we need to do that. And I'll throw Kaishan George, obviously, in the rotation over Steve Bay. And then I'm going to throw Bub Carrington in here to get all the minutes here, something along the lines of that. So that's what we'll run with for the rest of the season. We're pretty bad right now. Obviously, we're probably going to be in the lottery, which is where we want to be. So we'll see where we end up in the lottery. So here are your end of the season awards for year number 1. We do get Below making most improved player, which I don't think is out of the realm of possibility. I know people don't love the idea of rookies to, obviously most improved players in their sophomore season because obviously rookies are only supposed to get better. But there is some scenarios where I'd be okay with it. Below averaging 19. Obviously, we gave him a lot of the shots to take, and he did pretty good with them. So we'll take that. Now, let's get to the lottery and let's add a running mate with Below, and then what else we got, and everything else we got going on here. So got Dallas and Tatum, or Boston Mavericks again, and it is going to be the Boston Celtics beating them once again. Here are your retirements. So LeBron James and Chris Paul called it a career. And now, of course, moment of truth for us. It is the lottery. So let's see where we end up. So we'll be projected number 1 overall. More than likely, we're going to drop to 5 because that's how it goes for me. When I got the number 1 best odds, and Detroit knows that all too well as well, we're probably about to drop to 5 if I had to guess. And sure, I dropped to 4. We don't drop to 5. So we dropped to number 4, which is fine. I'm pretty sure in the last Wizards video, I ended up with Cooper Flag, if I'm not mistaken. So actually not totally opposed to, falling out, which is fine, and seeing who we get at number 4. We can still get a damn good player at number 4. We have 3 seconds as well. I don't think there's anybody I want to trade here, so actually, I do want to try to trade Rozier if possible. I don't really have any plans to keep him long-term, obviously. So if anybody wants to give me anything, so Terrence Mann in a first is okay. So Miami could trade for him back, which would be interesting. Rui in a second, but I have to trade a first. I'm good. Dallas, Najee Marshall had a great game for the Mavericks last night and a loss to the Pacers. Jock Landale. Houston wants to get better. And then San Antonio, I guess, is interesting. San Antonio I can get behind, maybe. But I don't know if Rozier's worth 2 firsts. He averaged 18 points per game and pretty good. I could get behind 1 first, so maybe like a pick swap. I don't think they'd trade this unprotected, but I think this is more than fair. So Rozier for this pick swap in 2028, sure. So the Spurs get a point guard who can score a little bit, maybe off their bench or something. So I can get behind that for the Spurs. All right, let's see Who goes number 1? So Cooper Flag, of course, to Brooklyn. Number 2 is going to be Ace Bailey, if I had to guess. No, it's Dylan Harper. So Utah takes Ace Bailey. No, okay. Or, yeah, so we could take Ace Bailey here. So Ace Bailey, yeah, I think we do this. Obviously, that's probably going to move Alex Sarr to the center. I also was okay with taking Noah Traore, but the fact that Ace Bailey is still here, I think we take him. So welcome to DC, and we're only about to get better with him arriving. So him and Khalil is going to be a ton of fun going forward. We can sign all these guys, and then Patrick Baldwin we can accept, and we can kind of let everyone else go. All right, Tristan Vucevic, sure, we'll extend the offer on him, and then free agency. We do have Bagley, Gill, and Johnny Davis as free agents, which I know Johnny Davis had like a good, was it a good preseason game? But I don't know if he's done much else since that. I think he had like a game winner or something. I think that was in a preseason game anyway, if I remember correctly. But Ace Bailey, Kaishan George, Alex Sarr. So immediately we're going to be moving Alex Sarr to center because we just kind of have to do this. So Alex Sarr is going to be playing center for us now, which I think he'll be better there anyway. So he'll be our starting 5-man, and then we're going to move Jonas Valanciunas out of here for whatever we can get. Poole is the starter right now, but I do want to trade him. I kind of waited for a long time to trade him in the previous video, but for me, I just want to get rid of him as soon as possible. He's actually having a decent season so far. So if anybody wants to go ahead and snag him off me for whatever, I'll take it. So the Pistons want to give me Stewart and Simone Fontecchio, which honestly, I'm not totally opposed to it. I just simply want to get rid of Poole and give like the keys to Bub Carrington or something. So I'm going to do this with Detroit. So we get 2, forwards or whatever for Jordan Poole. I'm fine with that. So that's going to move Bub Carrington to point guard, which I'm fine with. And then we'll have Kaishan George obviously play somewhere here. And then we need to trade Jonas Valanciunas as well. So Joe Val, appreciate your time here. Appreciate you signing with us for a little bit. But I think you're better off going somewhere else as well. So if anybody wants to just give me a couple seconds. Like Atlanta wants to give me Dyson Daniels, which is interesting. Charlotte wants to give me Miles Bridges, but I would simply just trade Joe Val for 2 seconds if needed. So yeah, I'll just get rid of him. So just like that, that looks good. We can move Bub Carrington to point guard, and then we'll have Jalen Smith, Alex Sarr, and then I think we can start maybe Kaishan George at the power forward or Ace Bailey, whichever one we want to do. That way we're getting both our forwards to start. We could even move Bilal. We could even move Bilal to small forward if we really wanted to, but I'm cool with him at the shooting guard right now. Like I said, I'll move Bub to point guard. So Bub will go to point guard. Does go down 1 overall, but that's fine. So free agency. We do have money to sign another player, which we'll probably more than likely do. We have pretty much a full rotation other than a backup point guard. So what do we want? So like Trey Jones off the bench doesn't sound too bad. Or we got Markelle Fultz down here. What else we got? Anything else? Bones Highland. I actually like the idea of Trey Jones off the bench as kind of a leader off the bench. So yeah, we'll do that. So we'll go Trey Jones, and then that will be our offseason. So we add Ace Bailey, and I can't wait to see what player progression looks like, especially with Bilal, who I pushed his tendency or his potential through the roof, and he's up to an 88. So yeah, as you can see, developing like crazy. I mean, it's not, like I said, I manually did that, so obviously it's not too crazy to see that, but that's the trajectory he could be on if all goes well. And Bub's already up to a 77 as well, which is fantastic. And Kaishan George also up. So I love that. Exactly what I wanted out of this video. Let's go ahead and get straight into this next season. And let's go look at the lineup and see how successful we can be in year number 2. So here's your starting 5 for season number 2. It's going to be Bub Carrington, Bilal. You got Kaishan George, Ace Bailey, Alex Sarr, Corey Kispert, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Smith, and Trey Jones. And then also Sadiq Bey as that last bench spot. So I am very excited about what this could potentially turn into this season. Hopefully Bilal can take another step, become an absolute stud for us. Let's go ahead, simulate year number 2, and let's see what kind of season we have with Ace Bailey added to the squad and Bilal's trajectory. So season number 2 makes improvements as we do get Rookie of the Year for Ace Bailey, which is great to see. But we are actually a play-in team as a 7 seed. So we're at the top of the play-in, which feels really good. Here's your All-NBA first team, All-NBA second, and All-NBA third. I don't think we get like Bilal here, but that'd be really cool to see him at one point in this video. Maybe Ace Bailey gets there as well. But Ace Bailey does make All-Rookie first team, averaging 19 points per game. So we're on a very good trajectory for this Wizards squad. Let's take a look at the player stats. So you had 26 points per game for Bilal, which is exactly what we kind of wanted to see. Was he more efficient this year? Yes, he was. So the man is improving efficiency-wise as well. Ace Bailey with 19 alongside him. Bub with 10, 3, and 3. 10 from Alex Sarr. So a lot to love here. I mean, eventually we're going to be a force to be reckoned with once this team fully develops. So Atlanta is going to be our opponent in round 1 of the play-in. They do want to fix the minutes, but I actually really like where I have the minutes right now, and I'm just going to roll with the guys we got playing. So let's see if we can get into the playoffs by beating the Hawks. Somewhat of a close game, but we are going to edge them out and make it in. Bilal leads the way as we get to play the Bucks in round 1 to Milwaukee, who's been very disappointing this season, I might add. They got Dame, David Roddy, Giannis. Honestly, I don't think it's too crazy for us to upset this team. I'm not saying we're going to, but outside of Dame and Giannis, there's not a lot to like here. So, I mean, do we do it is the question. Somebody come around against Milwaukee. No, not even close. So we're not quite there. But I think as soon as next year, you could maybe see the potential for us to make a run at it. So you got, I mean, we could also maybe hit free agency as well and maybe get like a great point guard if Bub isn't going to develop necessarily to where we want. I don't know. We'll see all of our options. But lottery process, of course, this time our pick is going to go elsewhere. So our pick is going to the Knicks this time around. Staff signing, you do have Brian Keefe still as the head coach, which is fine. And I don't think we have a draft pick from anybody else, but let me just double check. We have 5 second-round picks, but I mean, second-round picks, man, I don't know. I usually can never get anything out of my second-round picks when rebuilding in 2Ks, but we'll go take a look at what the assistant GM adds. So we got Connie Rooks, we got Chuck Samuels. We don't have to sign everybody. I mean, it's not going to let me two-way some of them, so I'll sign the first 2, but I'll let the other 3 go because we're just going to run out of roster space. Bilal and Kaishan George, of course, will be accepted, and then Vucevic and Baldwin are free agents, which, you know, if they come back, that's just extra depth to had. Rashawn Holmes, no plans to bring him back. Simone probably won't bring him back either. Getting Isaiah Stewart out of that Jordan Poole trade was good enough for me. So now, let's take a look at some of the things we got. So obviously, we already know Bob Carrington. We could bank on him just being good enough and rolling with him, but we could also, if there was one position to me that we upgrade right now, it would be the point guard spot because I do like stars are starting 5. I like Ace Bailey, obviously. I could also sign a small forward. Like, I don't know how much Kaishan George will truly develop. Zeke Bay is fine as a backup for him, obviously, as well. So point guard, small forward, or even shooting guard if we move below to the 3 are all things we could potentially go for if we feel the need to. So we could go get a Shaden Sharp or Jaden Ivey to add to this team if we really wanted to. You got Benedict Mathen or Rui out here. You got Tari Eason, who we could play at small forward on this team, which would be very interesting. I actually kind of like the idea of that. I might actually go for that. So we won't upgrade our point guard spot. We have Lonzo. We have Dyson Daniels, who would be fun, but not really. I think I'm fine with Bub Carrington. So I am going to go throw an offer sheet, though, at Tari Eason. We have the money, and we could give Tari Eason a starting small forward role if he was, you know, obligated to sign with us, and he does sign with us. So we use some of our cap space. We get Tari Eason out of this team to make ourselves even more talented, and he is going to move to small forward and go up 1 overall, which is awesome. So, with that all being said, that is what we're going to roll with. And then I think I can move Sadiq Bey out of here because, in theory, we should have Patrick Baldwin come back, and then Vucevic will come back. So, I'm fine with just getting rid of Sadiq Bey, Mark Mitchell, and a first for, again, I don't think Sadiq Bey is worth a first. So, just like a couple seconds or 1 second is fine with me. So, boom, just like that, that is done. And now we can just wait on Baldwin and Vucevic to come back, I think. Well, I don't know if they're qualifying offers. Let me double check that. So they're both maybe gone, which is fine too. We didn't necessarily need them back, but yeah, Vucevic is back at least. Okay, so Bilaw's up to 93, which is fantastic. Ace Bailey is 87. Bub's an 81 as starting point guard. Tari Eason, maybe we didn't need to sign him. Kaishan George up to 79, but I'm glad we got Tari Eason because Kaishan George is great, but what did he do last year? 5 points, so yeah, I think Tari Eason will just add a little bit more to the team, but overall, they're both going to get minutes, which is great. I truly do think this could be a contender this next season. We're getting closer and closer. Of course, it with Bilal leading the way. So let's get into this 3rd season, and, you know, let's see if we can make some magic happen in year 3. I definitely think it's possible. We got a really good squad right now, and the young squad is developing. So we'll see if things eventually turn in our favor. So another really good season in year number 3. Trae Young is on the Memphis Grizzlies all of a sudden. That is kind of strange. All right. Never really seen that before. But Nolan wins most improved in Portland. And Bilal wins clutch player of the year, averaging 30 points per game. So the man is obviously in 3 ball is getting better. He's just been fantastic, which is exactly what we wanted. All NBA second team for him, 30 points per game. Obviously, we made him a superstar. So yeah, exactly what we kind of wanted, exactly what we wanted to see. And now we are the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. So if we take a look at the stats for the season, you have 30 from Bilal, 19 from Ace Bailey, and 13.5 from Corey Kispert, 11 from Bob Carrington, and 9 from Tari Eason. So, by the way, if I look so bright right now, it's because window. I have yet to get blackout curtains on it. And I do have old ones, but the rod is way too big, so I couldn't put it on. I apologize if I'm way too bright right now. I don't know if that's really a problem, but just something I had to say, I guess. But other than that, let's go ahead and get into these playoffs. We get the Milwaukee Bucks in round one again. So they beat us last year, and their roster looks a lot better this time around, I will say. They got Jaden Ivey. They also got Mark Williams, so pretty good additions there. But I do think, you know, with the things reversed, we got home court. Well, they don't this time. And I feel like we have a chance to beat them. So somebody come around against Milwaukee, and that hunch was correct as we beat them in 4. And now we get Detroit in round 2. We have Cade, Asar, Precious, Nurkic, Trey Powell, John Collins, and Jordan Poole. Okay, well, here goes nothing for round 2. Somebody current round, and we're going to be up 3-2 on the Pistons. Let's even go Simcast Game 6 to get to the conference finals in the first time in this video. Obviously, we haven't even been in the second round of this video up to this point. And we have a lead here for the conference finals. There we go. 131-15. Ace Bailey and Bilal really showed out. And now we get either Orlando or Indiana. It is going to be the Orlando Magic, so we have home court advantage. Indiana would have had it had they have won. But they do have a good team. Obviously, Paulo Franz, Jalen Suggs, and Maluk, or however you say his name, all a really good team. So game 1 goes to Orlando. Game 2, we even it up. Game 3, 2-1. Can we even it up for game 4? Nope, we're down 3-1. Maybe we're not quite ready to be a team like the Orlando Magic, but we are going to definitely be here soon. We are going to win this game, it looks like, unless we just blow a massive lead. But no, we beat them pretty handily, 102-107. And now we got to go see if we can beat the Orlando Magic to force a game 7. This is going to be a close game 6, it looks like. If we can win game 6, I do like our feeling for game 7, but can we win it is the question. We have an 8-point lead down the stretch, and we are going to force a game 7. So we're one game away from potentially putting ourselves in the NBA Finals. Do we do it at home in DC in front of these Wizards fans? Can we do it is the question. We've had a massive lead throughout the whole game. Just don't blow it, and we find ourselves in the NBA Finals. Can we hold on to the lead? And it looks like we are going to do just that. We are in the NBA Finals, 99-106. Bilal just continues to be a beast throughout the playoffs, 31 points per game. And now we get Houston, who has, let's see, so they have Reed Shepard, Amon Thompson, Cameron Whitmore. Yeah, a damn good team in Houston, obviously. They have a very good young team. I've, said one time on the Hoops Crush podcast, I think Houston potentially has the best young core in the NBA. Now, will they let these guys all develop because they're obviously going after veterans and potentially going to make a big trade? That remains to be seen, but they do have a lot of good young players. But game 1 goes to us regardless. Game 2, they even it up. Game 3 goes to us. Are we going to beat the Rockets here? Yeah, 3-1. Can we beat them in 5 to win a championship? No, 3-2. Okay. Well, we've had a 3-1 lead here, and I'm not in the business of blowing a 3-1 lead, hopefully. But that could happen, unfortunately. We are going to go to a game 7. All right. I don't know, man. Game 7. I think we go 8-man rotation and play our 8 best players and lock in. Let's do it. So, game 7 in DC. Can we come out here and just blow them out is the question. Gonna be a close one, it looks like. We got to jump into this one for sure. And we are going to have the lead right now. I think we might have secured this win. And it's looking like we have won game 7 to win a championship for this DC team, Washington Wizards. All right, let's go, baby. That's fantastic. So we made below a superstar, and he makes us champions, which is just absolutely fantastic. We can come out here and actually let's play with below a little bit. Obviously, I made him a superstar for a reason. Slightly late 3 doesn't go down. I had to go ahead and hoist up at 3, but like I said, man, I'm very happy for Wizards fans right now. Ooh, nice block by Ace Bailey. That's going to be Rockets ball, though. I was kind of hoping it'd bounce off his knee, but it didn't. All right, so Dylan Brooks is going to inbound it. Let's see who he's going to go to. Loke, yeah, I was kind of hoping for a dramatic game 7, but I'm kind of glad at the same time it's not, that we can just smoothly get the win. But it would have been obviously very stressful had it been a very close game. And I had to watch it, and then we would have to see if we're going to win the championship. Okay. So let's play with below for a second. Let's see if I can just get around Jalen Green. Right now, just going one-on-one with Jalen Green, and nope, not gonna work out. Okay, well, I thought I'd just easily make that, to be honest, but got proven wrong. Okay, so Dylan Brooks gets the ball. Jabari has the ball on the perimeter. Alex Sarr guarding him. Got Reed Shepard giving it to Jalen Green. I'm not there, but I am at the same time. Below and transition. Can I just get around Jalen Green and bully him to the paint? Nope. Nope. I can't make a shot with blue right now, man. I turned him into a superstar and I can't make a shot right now. Reed Shepard going down. He's going to get blocked. I don't know if Alex Sarr blocked it or if I did, to be honest. But I'm fine. I'm going to make a shot with below if it's the last thing I do. I know Ahmed Thompson's a good defender. Let me get a screen from Alex Sarr. Maybe I can get around somebody. No, I still can't. So Alex Sarr, mid-range, gets fouled. We're going to the free throw line. So let's shoot some free throws. Honestly, I could low-key just sim the rest of this because this has been kind of not good. I can't even make a free throw so far. Looks like they took out below anyway, so I'm not going to be able to make a shot with him, unfortunately. And I'm late on both free throws. So I get the offensive board. Man, thank goodness we won the championship, because if I would have jumped in to try to clutch up to win it for us, yeah, I don't think I would have been able to do much of anything. So since I've jumped in, we have scored no baskets at all, so that's not good. Give me a screen, Alex Sarr. I got to cook with Trey Jones. I will. All right, there we go. We got a basket now. There we go. It's that simple, man. We just needed a screen and roll. There we go. And we'll have a championship celebration here soon. Jalen Green's going to try to do something on us here, and we are going to let him shoot a mid-range, but that should be all she wrote. We're going to go straight to Kaishan George. Do I dunk it? No, I ran out of bounds. All right. I'm an idiot. Let's just end this because I'm not good at 2K, as you guys can tell. Sometimes I have my moments, though, but right now, I think I'm not super locked in because we already have the win secured. I guess that's my excuse. But we played good defense so far, I guess. We almost got the steal there on Fred VanVleet. We're there. Going to be a foul to extend this even further. All right, so we got, I don't even know how to say his name. I don't know how to say his name. I'm not even going to try, because if I do, I'm just going to botch it. It'll be horrendous. All right, we're going to get 7 seconds left on the clock. We can watch championship celebration all together. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. The Wizards, man, like I said, their future seems pretty bright. Very happy for them. Like I said, thank y'all for watching. I'll see y'all in the next video. This is Crushables. I'm saying peace. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click here to watch another video that I know you'll love.